Today, obviously in the game, people, really value hitting the long ball. Average isn't valued as much. People don't worry about striking out. What would you say to young hitters to young kids who are watching this in the majors? What should they be focused on from a hitting development standpoint?
To be the toughest out possible. That's what hitting is all about. You can't score runs if you don't get on base. You can't knock people in if they don't get on base. You have to be the toughest out possible. Everybody always asks me what I'm most proud of numerically about my career, and it's 300, 400, 500. That's as good as it gets. When you're a 300 average hitter, when you're a 400 on base, and you're slugging over 500, you're doing it all. You're being the toughest out possible. If they're not going to throw you any strikes, you got to let the guy behind you, pick you up. There's just certain points when teams aren't going to let you beat them, but I'm not going to throw away an AB because I'm trying to expand the zone so that, they don't want me to beat them. So I'd much rather have me at the plate. Trust me. Don't get me wrong. But the fact of the matter is I tried to be the toughest out possible. And that means hitting the ball the other way. Frenchie will tell you most of my homers were the other way into center field. I made that my strength. Leo Mazzoni, every pitcher's meeting was the first thing he always said. We're going to go straight away. We're going to own the fastball down and away. Well, eventually I got to the point where I was like, well, if that's the universal thinking of most pitchers, then I'm going to take that away because I want to hit the fastball. I don't want to hit the other stuff. I want to hit the fastball. And if they're going to throw me that one first pitch, that's why I was a notorious first pitch fastball hitter. I was not going to let you get ahead of me with the straight one, 0-1, because then I know the sliders and changeups are coming, and I hit the fastball a heck of a lot better than I did that other stuff. So, yeah, I would just say try and be the toughest out possible. Not every guy is made that way. Not every guy cares, about my way of thinking. I would have to say this: in all my years of talking to hitters, there's only been one guy that has ever said, Chip, I want to stand on the plate and yank. Frenchie knows him well. It was B-Mac. And I said, okay, B-Mac, we're going to stand on top of the plate. We're going to make the outside corner the middle of the plate. Anything outside is truly outside, and we're going to spit on everything in. And he left and hit some homers with the Astros and the Yankees, and then he came back, and the first day of spring training, you know what he said to me? He goes, ask me again. And I go, what kind of hitter do you want to be? He goes, I want to hit ball from foul pole to foul pole. I was like, it's a little late, but we're going to help you out.
I used to tell stories all the time. It'd be so great. We'd be on the team playing, man, and we'd be, having a drink and talking hit, and then Chipper would look at me and B-Mac, why can't y'all just do what I tell you to do? And we're like, dude, we're trying, man. But Chipper did have a great one. I loved you. You used to make me strive for it every year. Be accounted for 200 runs, whether it's RBIs, runs scored, throwing a guy out, 200 runs. And if you do that, then you're going to be a pretty darn good player.
Yeah, anytime you hit in the middle of the lineup, you better be able to do both. You better be able to drive them in, and back in the day, you could run a little bit, you could steal, you could get into it, but like the guys behind me, if I was on first and they hit a ball in the gap, I would score.
Yeah.
100%. It was that 100 was a big milestone for me each and every year.
I want you to talk to the middle school and high school hitters right now. What is one of the main things they should focus on as they go? Because, you hear it all the time. You go to a tournament, there's dads and coaches yelling 15 different things at these kids, and you can't do that. I mean, good Lord, your mind doesn't go. What is one thing they should lock in to help them as they continue to grow?
Do whatever you have to do to keep your head and thus your eyes as still as possible. Like, it's hard enough to hit 100 miles an hour with your head completely still. You've got a bunch of moving parts in a swing. You've got a stride. You've got your load. Then your stride, your tuck. I mean, your head and your eyes are going to move quite a bit, but if you can limit that as much as possible, I think you're in a good place. I have this conversation with hitters to this day in the Braves clubhouse right now. I'm having it with Michael Harris. I'm having it with Matt Olson. I mean, their strides are so big. They're landing so hard on their front foot and their head's moving forward 6 to 8 inches, and you're making well over 100 miles an hour. And it's hard to catch up with that when there's that much movement. So yeah, the young kids, keep your head as still as possible. Make sure you get separation between your hands and your stride foot. When you have separation between your hands and your stride foot, your head and your eyes will stay as still as possible.
Yeah, that's one of the main things you taught me. You used to always go to the video and Chipper would show me my head when I was sitting there and then when I hit, and sometimes it would drop 6-8 inches. It was interesting.